Hey, Dave Staublin here, and I'd like to show you how a unit circle turns into a sine function curve. So I've got this note-taking guide here, and what I want you to notice is that there's a unit circle over here. The radius is 1, and then we have this angle measured around where we go from 0 to 90 to 180 to 270 and back to 360. Now over here we have a different kind of graph where the horizontal axis is angle and the vertical axis is y value. Okay, so we're going to go 0, 90, 180, 270, 360, which corresponds to these angles around the unit circle. This y value is going to correspond to the y value of any point on the unit circle. So you'll remember that we went around this unit circle and we got x values and y values for points at 30, 45, 60, 90, and then corresponding increments around the circle. Now, here's the deal. You will remember down here that if you have a right triangle, and the hypotenuse or the radius is 1, that the sine of the angle is opposite over hypotenuse, which is y over 1, or y. So the sine of an angle is y. And so what we're going to graph over here is the sine of the angle, and y equals that sine of the angle. So let's do a couple of points here. Let's start at 0. When we're at 0 degrees, what is the y value of this point? Well, up and down is the y value. It is 0. Now, when we go to 90 degrees, what is the y value of this point? Well, it's that value right there. It's the radius of 1. When we go to 180 degrees, what's the y value of this point? What's the up and down? Well, it's 0. And then when we go around to 270, what's the y value? Well, it's -1. And then when we go back to 360, the y value, the up and down, is 0 again. And so you can see we have this thing going on here. And the question is, what goes on like in this area? Well, the way that we find out, for example, is we could go to 45 degrees, which is about right here, and what's the y value? Well, the y value is that height, and so it would be about right there. And if we went to 40, or not 45, but if we went over here to 135 degrees, the y value would be at the same height again. I'm going to make all of these blue. So then what about like 30 degrees and 60 degrees? Well, 30 degrees might be right there, and that's the y height. So it might be like right there, and 60 degrees might be there, and that's the y height, and you come over and 60 degrees is right there. And if you do that around the circle, what'll happen, I'm just going to take a shortcut, is that you'll get a curve that looks like this. And that is how we get a sine curve from the unit circle.